Hello, welcome to part 2 of Starfish Degree Planner. You've already built your basic degree plan, which was just by adding in the catalog year and your program, along with selecting how many units you wanted to take each semester. Now this is where we get into the details of looking at the classes that we need to select and moving them into different semesters. So Degree Planner always, or Starfish always opens up in the Courses tab, which is a semester by semester. I recommend always starting in Requirements so they can go through and make sure that the classes are in there, at least populated, so that then all we have to do is move them to different semesters. So all of the major courses are listed. Our general education, typically there would be, you would have to select these, and I think in a previous session these had been selected already. Okay, and it looks like that we'll need to be sure we add up our units because if this is correct, we would not have enough. We would not have our 60 transferable units to graduate. But I never trust this, so always make sure that you're looking at your transcript and adding up your classes. So we'll go back to the semester by semester tab, and we're going to look at our classes. We have Ag Business or Agriculture, Sales, and Communication. That's going to fulfill Gen Ed Area A1. And then English, which fulfills Gen Ed Area A2. And I do recommend taking the 1AL because it does have the supplemental instruction built into the class, which also gives you an extra half a unit. And then for your major, you'll want to start off with your introductory to Culinary Arts, which is Food Service B50. And that's the class that you are in right now, and that's why you're watching this video. Food Service 51, that is a one-day orientation class. It's a half a unit, and it typically occurs on the first Friday of the semester. You'll get some very, very valuable information and learn about getting your culinary uniform, your chef's hat, and knives and things like that. Appropriate attire. I do recommend to take the food service, sanitation, and safety if possible during your first semester so that you learn proper storage of food and how to keep everything clean and sanitary so that you're not adding any illnesses to or things that can make other people sick whenever they're eating your food. So it's really good to learn about what temperature to store food and just all the things that you need to know. And also you'll take a test to get your food handler certificate, which will help you with getting a job outside of school as well, or even on campus. And then we have a life career planning. So you could choose, even though that your class that you're taking right now includes the ed planning portion, we have 2 student development classes that can be very helpful to students. Student Development B2 explores career options. It looks at your interest, your personality, and your skill set to make sure that you're selecting the major that you'll be more successful with. Another class that we have is Student Development B6 that covers study skills, how to read your textbook more efficiently, how to take notes more properly, maybe using the Cornell note-taking, time management, overcoming procrastination, memory skills, a little bit on budgeting, how to get through budgeting using the limited income that you may have. So very valuable. So we have a Student Development B2 class in here. And let me just delete this placeholder. I do need to know that, remember to add classes so that I have enough units. And it keeps trying to tell me that. So I'm just going to move it to the last semester. Okay, so our first semester has 13 units. That is full-time. So if that works for you, that's great. Moving along to your second semester, we have Theory 2, We didn't have Theory 1 during the first semester, and you could have. So maybe Theory 2 could be taken instead of the student development class. It just really depends. Or instead of the sanitation and safety. That's really a personal choice. Theory 2 can be taken before Theory 1, so it really doesn't matter which one you take first. You're going to have a big book that you purchase. It is, expensive, so plan for that. And it has a lot of recipes in there, so it's going to be a resource to you later on. We have our Crops B5, which is plant science, and that accounts for a science class considered life science. And then Communication B5 is going to count for your Gen Ed Area A3. We have our math class, Psych B5, Statistics. And we move this down again. Ooh, looks like we need to add a lot of classes. So now we have 12 and a half units. So we're still full-time. I know that some people will find this pretty full because we have a science class and statistics. Then in the summer, Spanish is a good option to take. That's accounting for our humanities area C2. Or you can take art appreciation, which is Gen Ed area C1. Either one of those are good to take during the summer. And then we've gone along and we have our Theory 1, which is 55A. We have our first lab class, which is going to be the a la carte dinner, working in the Renegade restaurant. We have 55F, which is baking, an intro to sociology course. Let's see if I were to move this. We now have 12 and a half. And then in the spring, chemistry was for physical science, area B1. You may have chosen something else. That was your personal preference. 55D is going to be your second lab course, and that will be I think I said that C lab was a la carte, but it's actually the buffet class. And then D is the a la carte class. So you have Thursday dinners first, then Tuesday dinner. It's a long day working in the Renegade room. And then internship, if that's a good semester for you to have internship. We have area, this can count for area C or D. You have to choose one, and that's your California history. And let's go ahead and move that down. So now we only have 11 units. So if you want to have a full schedule of 12, you would definitely need to move up another class. Okay, so then we have work experience during summer 21. It's a good time to do work experience. You'll learn more about that from your instructors. And then we added in accounting to try to make up for those units that we were lacking to get to the 60. Accounting 1 is recommended for the food service management degree, which is something that you could double major in. And then food service 55E is your last lab class. That is working at the Renegade Room, our restaurant, on Wednesdays for lunch. And then we have a U.S. history class for Gen Ed Area D, Nutrition 10, which is a major course, and it also counts for Area E. Then in our, really that's not 15 units, but if I move that out, it is actually 12 units. Okay. So then we have Communication 7 was a class that we selected for Area D. You could have chosen something else. Comp B5 is a computer class to teach you Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And Excel is going to be very important to you to keep track of. Usually we use that for reports. You could use it for your inventory, your expenses, money coming in, money going out, accounts receivables and payables, all kinds of beneficial things. And then our last food service class that should be taken towards the end, it's typically only offered during the spring semesters. IC see that it might be offered during a summer coming up, but I'm not positive on that. So food service 59, that's a 3-unit class. And then it's telling us that let's watch if I try to delete this, if it were really delete, that we need to add up our units because we do not have 60 units. Interesting, delete everything. So now I will go back to our requirements page. And still says that we have less than 60, and like I said, I never trust that, so make sure that you add it. And then if you do indeed need to add classes to get to 60, you can look up complementary classes or maybe some classes that you weren't able to take as part of your general education. Okay, so some things to note here. When you're ready to plan your registration, the classes that you chose, if there was a schedule available, it populates the classes under the schedule tab, and sometimes you just have to move it to move this arrow to see everything. And this is how you can pre-plan your class times. Like you can see here that there may be an overlap with food service 50, so I would need to choose a different time for that. But once everything is in the place that you like it, print this out so that you can use it for the day of your priority registration. And there is a print option here. And then you can even select the reschedule my classes. Now it's time to print your schedule, and I will let you know that it prints out about 4 to 5 pages. So sometimes it's good just to select page 1, which gives you your information, the plan that you're using, your email, the semester by semester units, classes, and then who created your plan, if someone updated it, who was that, and then if it was approved, the name and the date. Okay, and then that schedule. Of course, it only showed page 1 of the schedule. So be mindful when you're printing that. You might just want to save this as a PDF, but you can always access it online. The 2 unmet needs, let's go ahead and find out what that says. And so it's telling us that we don't have 60 units, so we need to select some extra classes. We won't worry about the math because the math, we've made some changes recently. So if there's any questions, you're going to want to consult with your culinary arts pathway advisor or counselor. And also your instructors are there to help you. If you're looking for your culinary arts advisor, they are located in CTE, Career and Technical Education, which is in the Face Building, room 16. Thank you so much for watching part 2 of Starfish Degree Planner.